Well, you need.
Oh, girl, you don't be quiet. Do you want to do the opener?
You gotta go.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Alchemist and The Oracle, a space where we engage in spiritualized conversations that deepen understanding, inspire transformation, and spark meaningful dialogue about life's most profound truths. I am Nicole of The Oracle, and I am joined by this person here that is cracking up, my co-host, Warrioress Ardeshir Arwen, better known as The Alchemist. So today we're talking about love. So we're going to jump right in. How do you define love?
Well, I will just tell you about my weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. So I got to hang out with some of my veteran people. So, that's always interesting. So, it was a great week. Great week. Won a little something, something. It's all surrounding around golf. So you know how people love golf. So I've been trying to get in it, and I got me my red club. So we're gonna have to figure it out. So I'm hoping to get back in the game real soon, and establish that love for the game. So, and like you said, love surrounds so many things. So this is how love that I understand it, and this definition resonates with the essence that's in, and I'll get back to that. So here it is, because no more freezing. So love is a unifying force that connects us to ourselves, others, and the universe. It's about experiencing empathy, compassion, and kindness, which we need more of, as we need more love as we come and continue to speak about the subject. At its core, love is about acceptance, understanding, and allowing us to see beyond the surface and embrace the essence of who we are and those around us. It encourages growth, healing, transformation, fostering a sense of belonging and purpose. Now, that is one of the ones that I got. It also talks about, I can get into the positive force in that. Love is generally defined as, and in generality is defined as a strong feeling of affection, attachment, and care towards another person, often characterized by intimacy, passion, and commitment. And in the whole context, it goes back to what I just mentioned in the context of humanity, is it represents the driving force of connection, again, compassion, and the desire to promote a well-being of others. And there's certain key elements that we can get back into after that. And of course, maybe part two, we'll talk about self-love, because I think people got that twisted too of what that means, because we all need to do a lot more of that, especially during these times. So love in the essence of me is like, it comes from the innateness of you, because when you're born, there's some souls that might come in here a certain kind of way to do something, but when you having nothing but the love, from your mom, and you come this innocent, and you have to be cared for. So you get that attachment with that essence of who you come into this world and embrace with. May not be your biological mama, and that's okay. You just don't know. Love, being loved is love. How you receive that caring and loving nature that I believe is at the core of us, and we look on the outside versus the inside and get everything all twisted by getting in the world's definition of love. And I can go back as a young person and see what that love is, like what my mother did, and keeping us clothed and doing all those things, which is different than the love that we think. It's just like you and I, for example. So here's the twist about it. I say I love you, then people want to think I want to get all up in you. It's just a no. If I know you, and see, I know what's up with you, and we know that we soul people. So, doggone well that I ain't gonna be trying to mess with this love that we have in friendship, trying to take it somewhere that it ain't gonna go. Now, if it happen to go that way, then it'll be known by both people. But if it ain't, why push it? So, and
Yeah.
having that innate, I mean,
Some people, it's
bishops and
the
stuff like
pushing
this.
part that some people get caught up in.
And girl, I was watching the sit thing. I just finished it up. So obviously it was a reason that Lord had me and Spirit had me watching this. It's called Younger, right? It's called Younger. It's
That's
on
the one
Netflix.
with like the white lady. It's like a white cast.
Yeah, primarily, yeah. And she couldn't get back into publishing
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
she was older and
Yeah.
she had
Okay.
to, lie about age. So, and I mean, it's a real thing. It's like you don't. How you gonna dismiss wisdom? Because I'm wisdom. You're gonna dismiss wisdom and things of that nature. So, getting back to it before I lose my train of thought, there was a guy, her friend, who's really cool. She's cute too. So she really cool, right? The artist, right? So she ran into this dude, and so come to find out, and one of my friends tried to do this one point, called himself a flipper. So he gonna get in there and think that he can change somebody. So ain't no love in none of this right here, right? To change somebody from 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 being um gay to hetero. And it's like, you think you got that kind of power? You don't. Or vice versa for that matter.
Yeah.
So, so people get love twisted. So love, I mean, it's just like my car. The creator, the universe, however you wanna identify the higher power is in everything, including my car. Love that baby. So when things go wrong in this horrible streets that we got up in here, I have to pat her on her little dashboard and say, Mama, sorry. It's okay.
You really do love
And
your
hanging
car.
on.
You really do demonstrate, I think every episode, how much you love your car.
Yeah, road.
What
Yeah.
does that love feed into your, because I find that when we love something, we love it because it fuels something else within us.
A huge, even going back today, right now, just coming thinking about Cleveland driving at night and all the cars off, just the freedom and the connection to the earth, being on the road. I remember just driving around all over Cleveland and going downtown. Used to kick it by the lake, and remember used to have this song called on oh my God, it's by Wilson Pickett, In the Midnight Hour.
Ooh,
So in the midnight hour, it was just this freedom,
so the freedom.
this yeah, this ability to move and just go and explore and see and just see things. I'm doing more day driving now because I want to see the nighttime. I used to cut it, but I connect with nighttime with such a hawk. And like to do my driving at night. I want to do more of it in the day just to see, stop, and connect with that part. But it was such a freedom to go back and forth and think. And I've almost darn near rebuilt this car here. So it's time for, and I already talked to her, it's time for a side piece, but to compliment her stuff.
So
Oh,
bad she said a side piece. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Just why?
something in car.
A
Yeah.
side piece though. I'm gonna keep my thought to myself. I may have to edit this out. I may edit this out. Um, so I feel like you need to be called the spiritualized pimp. I'm sorry.
Spiritualized
The
what?
spiritualized pimp came through. It's like that connection. Whew, all right, I'm back. Oh man,
Yeah.
no. Side
Yeah.
piece.
So,
All right.
yeah.
How
I
how
told
did
her,
that
so
that look like that disturbed your spirit, what I just said?
what's that?
Okay,
No,
good. It didn't. Moving on. So
no.
you're
I
getting a
have said
side
it.
piece. A side piece for your car.
Yeah,
Why?
a
Why you need a side
just
piece?
just a complimenter. She's
So not a side piece, a
older.
sibling. Let's go with sibling. That
Okay.
that feels better in my soul. The
It's
side
just
piece
come.
just
I
threw me
don't
out.
know why it comes out like that, but it's come out like that more than once. I mean, so it was just
A
natural. Just gonna
sibling,
get
not a side
a,
piece, a sibling.
a
Yes. The wrong S.
okay, the wrong S. Okay, a
Yes.
sibling. To compliment her and kind of reduce some miles on her because she's a little older. And so, but I mean, brand new tires, she kicking it, the engine. I mean, I have to top off every now and then, but I mean, and I get comfortable in something and you know that you can do certain things. And so I like to be comfortable on the road. Now they have all these electronics in them. So it's going to be hard to kind of love that because it can be a little bit distracting. So, so it's gonna get a sidecar, so a sibling, yeah, a younger sibling or a newer sibling or something to be newborn that she can that I can go between.
Hmm.
So that's something I'm looking into. So yes, I understand that people said you couldn't love an inanimate object, but that's not true because the creator is in everything and she's continuing to run. I've been continuing to be able to do the maintenance and I am thankful for that. I want to continue to grow. So when we look at love in the essence of human beings, there's so many. I mean, from humans to the animals, to the love of the eagle, to the love of the birds and what it means. And then when I see it, what makes you smile. So if I see an eagle and a hawk and these things, there's something about them that they're bringing forth to me messages, and I just smile and know that there's a symbol. I'm on this right track. So love is multifaceted, and to know what love is to go from within and understand that what that means for you, or you have this sense. And I know that I was listening to this one video where he's talking about the sense of the flesh. There's those things between mind and body,
Mm.
and we get love. The first thing somebody say I love you, then they want to think about sex. There's nothing wrong with that, or this other stuff. There's certain different type of intimacies, like intimate friends. They say that, but that don't mean that you're sexing one another. I just have to keep it real. This is adult conversations, so this is for food for your adult thoughts. So I'm just saying.
Okay, so I'm going to define are you finished? I feel like
Yes, I'm good. I'm good.
you
I'm
look like
done.
you have started to turn the same color as your hat and your shirt.
Yeah, pretty much.
You starting to blend into the background. Oh my god. So with that, I'll give you time to calm down.
Okay.
Um, so the
Okay.
definition that and I always think of love, I always think of this definition and it's from the Bible. And
Mm-hmm.
it's First Corinthians 13, chapter
I knew you
13,
was gonna go
verses
there.
4 through 7. I had to
Yes, I
bring in the
know.
spiritualized part.
I
So it
figured. Yeah.
says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not
Mm-hmm.
proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres.
That's great. It's on my wall. I mean, that was the go-to person, but since we, mail like we do, I knew that you was gonna bring it up. So
Well,
I
I had
mean,
several. You took my you talked about the one that I also use a lot when I'm working with some clients, the definition, the psychology definition of love. Um,
Mhm.
but I think this one is the reminder of what love is.
Yes.
And if it isn't, I feel like it's the last part. where you can, it's a barometer of like looking and asking yourself, okay, am I being loving? Am I receiving love in this way? And it's like, it always protects, trust, hopes, perseveres. And also, it's like, I think so many people have conditions that they give love in,
Right. That's the key.
and that's not love.
Yeah. Yeah. Love is unconditional. There is
Yeah.
no conditions. The conditions come from our mind and and a little bit of sense of control. Um, and I'm just picking up on some things from some experiences. And yeah, it's not loving to put conditions. It's just like coming to a relationship. You know somebody, some people think that they can change some people, but that's not love. You love them coming in with what you know, knowing that if they're doing their work or if they're growing, depending on what it is, that you're looking for, not so much in a in a in a loving relationship. And intimate is not a good word because there's intimacy in many different relationships that have nothing to do with um, having making love. That's a better word. Making love and all that is is there's no condition. So one of the things that came in that I learned and continuing to do research is come into a relationship. You knew who you're coming in with, and that's why you need to spend time with one another to get to know one another. Because people say, well, the truth or the essence of somebody will really come out after a while. And then when people notice in certain relationships come on, when you become, you know, where it looks like you're going to be a couple and do that people think that then they can start coming in and wanting to change who you are. People have to choose to change and grow together and be that they are, but you have to see what you see in a person before you decide to make that commitment to go forward as a relationship. And even in friendships, they said people show you who they are in the beginning, but you have to get to know people because not everything, like for me, people said mystery. No, I need to get to know you before I share certain things. I mean, you're going to see the true nature of me off the bat, but the other things have to be earned and grown and together. And then you have this energy connection, as you know, that go back and forth that some people try to ignore because everything to look good on the outside don't mean it's good on the inside.
Mm, right. That's true. I have a question. This kind of came up. Um, I know we're going to get into the different types of love, and probably that'll be the second one. But how do you see, or what do you think is the purpose of love? Like, why is this something, like when you go back to like that Bible verse, um, like what is the purpose of love? Like, what do you think is the purpose of love as the spiritual warrior that you are?
Man, I've served people most of my entire life like my family is. I have a love for people. And even though I've had some really heinous and other things that have occurred to me personally on deep levels, I've still had where it didn't allow it to scar me, where I couldn't continue to still give love back, considering my career fields and things of that. But as a spiritual warrior, love is it's an innate thing for people. It's an innateness that we have to want to be loved, to give love. Um, there's a different type where it say, well, selfishness or things where it's just about me, me, me. That's not the love because it's a give and take. And it's a natural thing where if you don't put any conditions and you allow things to be and you see the connections, you can tell whether or not you can be friends or even more deeply um, um, lovers or whatever that case may be. but love is an innate force within. It's just like a baby coming out. They look at you and they giving love, and the only time they cry is when they kind of need something, whether it's food or some type of hug or things of that nature. I go back and I just look at the just the essence of the I am that I am, and looking at, love that was given. But we come here, and I look as my soul was just that, to come here to love, to shift, to transform into the chosen one, to like for the love of the ancestral realm, to actually be the one to change and transform that dynamic, of like ancestral patterns and stuff like that. And that took a lot. That took a lot. So that love is innate for me, loving on people and highing and just smiling and honoring your presence, which, is very important to me. Is like, I don't have to know you to love you and honor your presence in the world. So, we're here for a reason, to actually either uplift or have this lesson that we need to learn, or help to transform that of our people, those who are here, those who are yet to be born, and those who have crossed.
Mm.
That's a huge, deep, 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 deep love.
Yeah. Um, so when you were talking, I was kind of connecting, like some things came out and I tried my best to like jot it down. Um, and what I realized is that I think the purpose of love is very different on the spiritualized level and then
It
on the
is.
human level. So it's like you think of us being human beings. So on the human level and then on our beingness level. And so on the beingness level, I I feel like the purpose, because I always say everyone has the same purpose that is a child of God. And I recognize that not everyone here is from God or of God. And I think sometimes we're kind of in that fight of making everyone be from and of God. And that may be
Yes,
something very controversial, but I think it's true. I really
exactly.
do think it's true. But to make the connect it back to what I was saying, I went on a whole nother tangent there.
Well, it
Um,
happens.
but in the Bible, when you take it back to the Bible, connecting it back to God, I really do believe everyone has the same purpose that as a child of God, and that is to be the demonstration of love. And it's that
Yes,
I feel like that's how I would describe God. God is love.
I feel that
And
too. Yeah.
it is that reflection. I feel like the purpose of love on that beingness level is that reflection of God. And it reminds us whose we are, where we come from. And it
Yes.
reminds
Yes.
us that we're tapped into that power source that empowers our life, that um, provides us the sustaining love that we need, linking it into the human experience here on earth. And so the human part of it, what I wrote down, just thinking like from the psychology standpoint,
Hmm.
is it fosters those social bonds in order for survival and reproduction. So when you look at those two very different, uh, like the human versus the being, and
Hmm.
reminding yourself, I'm gonna take it back that everyone here on Earth is not a human being. And so it's just remembering your beingness and that you have that loving support to really love you through the human process here on earth, because it's a lot because God knows that not everyone here on earth that we're interacting with is from him. And that's like, I like, and I think of like the fact that we were part of the love tribe. it was like
Mhm.
that reminder of, I remember looking at all the little boxes when we would be on Zoom and had all these different people from different walks of life and different
Yes.
perspectives. I just thought it was just this beautiful demonstration and reminder that it looks all the same, but we all have that same power source that we connect in. So I feel like the purpose of love is very different from the human versus the being, and not everyone is a human being. I know that's controversial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'll go a little bit deeper on my channel about it, but
Well, I mean, it's for people to take a deeper look. I mean, the whole thing is that love is controversial and people have their different thoughts, but love comes from the essence of the creator who bore us into life. The soul, our soul created this soul.
mm,
And people, when it goes back to it for me, is people are looking for other people to love them to make them whole, but you have to love yourself first and foremost to be
yeah,
whole, to attract the desired um spirit of another person that matches in with you to have a fulfilling life. But you have to continue to grow together, because now growing together, if one is growing and the other one, there's no really such thing as they call what is it stable? You're either growing or you're decaying. So growing in life is just like, I mean, I use dance. Dancing has this essence of era of connecting. It's this sexy, for lack of a better word.
no, it is
That
sexy. Let's say
Well, it
like
is
it is
sexy.
sexy because when you think of the energy centers that are activated, it's your root chakra because you're using your feet and it's grounding you. And then it
Mm-hmm.
moves, it's connecting those lower chakras. So you have the root chakra, you have the sacral chakra that's all about the sexuality and the creativity. And I think our world has kind of tainted that to
Yes.
make it
Yes.
like there's this negative connotation of like how dare you sexualize connecting with a friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like one of the girls I just found. Well, I know that somebody was a friend of mine. I know that they're I found out their daughter's passed, and I used to dance with them, much taller. But this whole thing about that has nothing to do with where we want to take it. And here's the other thing that came up, and
Mm,
this has come up more than one time with me when we look at the essence of religion. Which I was, yeah, I'm just gonna keep talking. I don't need to talk about whether spiritual, don't have anything of it. I mean, but coming up, and it still goes on with some, because I can hear no matter what the generation this comes up, depending on what's been passed down from generation to generation, was how can you not talk about something that's supposed to be joy filled, that brings life in, or the essence of the act? And not everybody is going to bring children into the world. So there's enough procreation going on. So there are certain people who don't choose to procreate, and that's their choice. And
yeah,
then there's an essence of something that souls came into this world that weren't supposed to procreate.
yeah,
And we have to be okay with that, because the world will say, "Oh, how come you ain't had a baby? How come you ain't married? You ain't got a man? This and that." Hell, that's a no. So I can choose to have any, and I want, but that wasn't the soul's journey. And I love kids. I have the motherly instinct like anybody else. We all do. Even some men have it. So it's not even about that. It's the essence of the masculine, feminine energy, but knowing that you could barely talk to this with your child of an era of growing up and making it so taboo, but then you say procreate too, you can't have it both ways. So why is it that in most people looking at it as dirty or this, that, and the other, and then it's supposed to be this grand thing, but it's not even that. It's even about touching and all that has this essence of love and connection, because I think connection is the biggest word, the connection and the essence of connecting. and looking at it from a place from within instead of a place without.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's not natural, and I have to, I mean, it's unfortunate, but speaking from my own person, I mean, my mother would say, well, we spoke about this, and that. I know in middle school, which we call junior high, they talked about a few things, but they never talked about the nature of the guy's going to feel this way at a young age, and you're going to have these urges or not, or, however that may be. I'm very disciplined, but it's so, and I think that's a good thing. It didn't stop, the soul's journey that I had that was unfortunate, but the love I still remain because I have to realize that everybody is not everybody. It was just them. So, but why would you want to taint something, not talk about something, not even be able to talk about your kids because they've made it so my father could have never ever talked to me, and he never did. He just made assumptions. So I had this conversation with my mother about the assumption, oh, I'd probably have a baby, before I was 20 and all this, and made assumptions of what I was doing without knowing the essence of me and what I had been taught. But to make this a taboo thing and then say procreate at the same time and make the fact that intimacy, sex, and all that is taboo, but it's good at the same time, it doesn't make any sense. And so that's the world, trying to taint something good. And then depending on younger, how you come up, or that, men in certain cultures that only men should be able to experience that and women shouldn't. That's just ridiculous too, because it wouldn't happen if you didn't have it both. So that's one of the discussions that I had wanted to speak when we talk about love. But love is kind, is caring. And if you can get out of your head, as you know, Major E said, get into your heart, then and follow the gut, which is the God in you, or the essence of that soul. So we would be so much better off.
Yeah.
Because love is our only solution on all levels, no matter the facet, is the understanding, defining it for you. What is that? What is it? And if you were to sit down and journal and ask yourself, and you'd have to sit with it, what love is to you. And that means really forgetting about the world, forgetting about your other experiences, any relationships you've ever been in, and find out what is love and sit down and journal that, you will get your answer. Just like First Corinthians, it's conditions. People put conditions. Oh, get somebody, I get them, you do this for me, you do that. And then these holidays, well, we just dealt with Valentine's Day. And then there was another day that I didn't know nothing about that was here in the state. And now there's a couple of people that have adapted it. This is, what is it in? Is it in October? What is that one called? Oh God.
What is it?
It's another day. It's like Valentine's Day, but technically it's supposed to be for the masculine.
Oh, the sweetest day or sweetheart day or something like
I
that.
think it's Sweetest Day or something in October. And supposedly that day was created where the masculine energy, or the men, and could be honored, the same way that the women honored. But come to find out, the women then took both days.
But why
So
are we separating the days? I thought it
I
was
have no
honoring
idea,
whoever.
girl.
Why are we putting gender on it? It's I didn't know
Then I
that
told the
was
guys recently that
I
day
didn't
was for
know the
them.
history. I didn't know that. I thought the sweetest day was a day where you honor the people that you love or care about, or you think fondly of.
I found out that it's been, oh God, time is flying. It's been 3 years or more. It's been longer
So
than
you're
that.
saying that holiday, the holiday for February is meant to show honor for the female or the feminine
Well, yeah, the guys
first
seem to do all
people.
that, and the women get upset if they forget about this for a freaking
And
day.
then October is meant
Yeah.
for honoring the masculine or the men, however you want to like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why? See, that in itself is problematic because that's like a
Yes.
separation. It's just the separation of that delineation between the sexes, right? It
Yes.
just feeds
Yes.
into that very unhealthy psychology, the false truth that we are not feminine or masculine within our humanness. We have
Yes.
feminine and masculine energy. We have feminine and masculine qualities. Even even like me, right? I look at myself and I feel like I have qualities physically that are leaning more masculine and I have qualities that lean more feminine. And I see it
Mm-hmm.
in men as well. So it's just so interesting that
Our connection.
we're leaning into that unhealthy narrative that doesn't really bring, it's separating and it's supposed to bring you together. I think
And see,
that's what I'm coming to.
and see, that's the thing. So I'm off in Detroit. So like I said, I keep it real with y'all. So this may or may not be off the cuff. The brims, black woman made the brims for the women. That's how the whole church thing got in the scene. So I have to like get like cousins, certain guys to understand that, honey, this ain't a masculine thing. My energy is more dominant. And I have to honor that most people will see that. And if I'm dancing how I dress, it just is what I like. But honey, I can throw down on whatever other thing I want to throw down, which would be more on the feminine energy too. Honoring that because that's what's
What are
up.
we twerking?
So we're talking about the love that we is,
Oh,
the love that I
twerking?
am. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So,
She's like, I
um,
don't want to talk about that. Okay. The love that
what?
you are. No, I think
Yeah.
that's interesting that you
So when we're
bring up
talking about
like,
the energy and you're talking about the separation,
yeah.
they talk about. So I brought up the hats because it's just like thinking that these brims are just for men. To where now there's a couple people in my church, the women got their little brims too, and they more wise than I and all that. So it's just like it's just this craziness that we deal with, and regardless to my status, I don't care if I was the same person, no matter in another lifetime, then it is what it was. I just honor me more than I have in my entire life. And so that's love. That's another aspect of loving and understanding, and then putting the truth out there about that. So up in there with the way that I dress, and of course it is what it is, does not define me. You know,
Mm,
I
right.
love more so where my essence and my guidance reading would say how we try to balance my yin and my yang, because the yang is a little bit more present because of mine. I grew up with it like that, so I've been more mine. My heart's always been there, but showing the feminine masculines because I really do. I like working with my hands, so I have to honor that part of my soul's creation that brought me here, regardless to whatever. So nothing can define you. And I just lost something. Oh, I was sharing with someone I knew, or someone that I know, when I was telling her that you have masculine and feminine energy. So her thing is that no, you can't have it. So I said it has nothing to do with being a man, but you have to understand one man is in your name if you honor
Yeah.
the female that you are. One man, give me a break. So that's a no. So I'm telling them like, but yeah. So when she says a certain something, and I'm like, that is your masculine energy coming out. If you're gonna kick somebody's butt and you come out and this and that, that's another type of energy. So that is definitely the masculine energy. So, and you have to know this, but you have to be open to receive it. And I am so thankful for the growth, for the training, for the understanding, and to be able to speak about that. And there's some men who understand who they are as men, understand it. Because I'm like, in your heart, if you're with a woman and how you treat that woman, open the door, the car, the carrying, that's your heart space. That's your heart space, your feminine energy, treating them with the love that you know that they are, and the masculine, how you protect them, and how you think. And most men think this way, and I've been around them, which they don't really get into a lot of briefs, except for when the ego come out and you have this this other energy, which is something totally different, and it's not of love.
Friction,
So yeah.
that kind of like sub subconscious, the word just like went out of my mind, but that subconscious, like jockeying for position.
Yes, that ain't love at all. That's that
That's
ego.
ego.
Oh, that is
That's
total
love of
ego.
ego,
Girl,
which is
I
not
don't
love.
understand it. I mean, you
Well,
just
I
give
do
a head nod.
but it
I
goes
well,
back to I you do understand it. You know
I do
why they're
understand
like
it.
that.
Yeah, I
It's
do. I
just
do. I do.
yeah.
I don't want to
Um,
understand it, but I do.
but you said something. I want to go back to you were talking about dancing, right? And
Oh God,
something that
yes.
came up for me is that, and
Love
I
to
wrote it
dance.
down, is that people can turn you on, and who you people can turn you on who you are not trying to have sex with. And I
Yeah.
think so many people are challenged by that because of society, indoctrination, like culture. Like a lot of different cultures essentially really do push that narrative. And
Yes.
it's this demonization of things, like things are
Yes.
wicked. And it goes back to what I was saying about how not everything on this earth is aligned with God. And so if you
Okay.
have people that are not aligned with the love of God, they're aligned with let's say demons. So they demonize things. They demonize things because they're trying to keep you. I really do feel that some people, their purpose is not from they're not from God. And their purpose here is to demonize everything that you do. And so we lean into those narratives that make certain things wicked that are our innate nature. Like, why would we have these energy centers along the physical body that allow us to tap into our sexuality and creativity, that root us in, that empower us, that are heart centered, that speak and communicate, that sees the world and has an understanding higher connected, but grounded here on earth?
Yes.
There's this
Yes.
demonization, and I think people need to really realize who is speaking, how they're speaking, and asking yourself, are you connected and aligned with God or something that's not?
Mother. Oh God, I'm just listening to this
It's a
pastor that was
demon. That's
giving.
the demon. That's why you call the demons. That's the demons. Anything that demonizes things so much, and it's in churches. I mean, I don't hate to
Yeah.
say it, like it's in churches. That's the
Yeah.
best way to disconnect, disrupt people from being connected to God. That's the perfect place to be.
Well, it's
Wouldn't
the
you say?
control factor. Yeah.
That too.
Yeah. The control factor. I mean, I don't understand that. Well, yes, I do. I don't want to understand nothing, but so it just reminds me of some of the stuff that Ia say. She's so real too. She's like,
She gets so frustrated with humans, and I do too.
she says she loves people. I love too, but yeah, I still get frustrated. Hugely frustrated from a little girl. It's like I don't understand why people do this to one another. And I mean, I've been a product of what people do, and this hideous, heinous,
Because
and
you're connected to love, and you are love, you embody love, and so you're challenged with the understanding of people's lack of love and compassion to other people. That's the hard part.
people.
It's the part of like being able to understand it on a level that you can relate to, but you can still understand, like, well, you're clearly in some type of dysfunction. But it's still like it messes with your spirit. I always think of my
Yeah,
grandma said, like, that messes with my spirit. It's hard to
yeah,
see that being. pushed on people.
Yeah, one of the relatives sent me this YouTube video, and I ain't much into a lot of preachers, but this dude was on point with what you had just said, and how I look at scriptures because of learning how to metaphysically read a scripture and learn the journey. It's a journey. It's
Yeah.
a journey to your true self, and that certain things will happen in life. And he mentioned, like, well, I don't like to use the word saved. I don't think I was lost, but to get the deeper connection with the creator, um, is, oh God, I lost my turn, is that deal is that even though as you continue to grow and you continue to get closer, things, because I figured nothing was going to happen once I had you know, this move of wanting to make that step and to understand that what it means that I go through these certain things to grow higher and to grow greater and to grow wiser through the trials and tribulations that we're all going to go through. Now, the depth of how they are is different because you're asking, for the creator's favor. Um, doing this, and people will come up and he mentioned, why did this happen? Well, if God was around, why would this happen? I said, God weeps with us. God ain't choosing this. We have our own choice. And like you said, the wicked and the things that are going on, it's just
Mhm.
how are you going to look at it? Because there's still good things going on in the world. There's still really, really kind people in the world.
It really
And we
is.
have to look at it from that point of view. You have to look at it from a love perspective, and then you'll start seeing it and you'll start receiving it, and then you can start being it. No matter what goes on through the losses. Yes, losing a child is huge, but how do you use that for the greater good of humanity and for yourself? How do you use that? So I have the first gun that I sent you the picture of. Hey, I lost one. Sometimes I forget about that. And then you look at Major, who's lost two, and how you get through that. She speaks about it, Yanla, and some other people, and the one person that I know here has taken it's a lot, has taken this on this mission. She's trying to go ahead and help alleviate suffering, Major Ia, by trying to awaken a million, and that song has been out forever, which is about understanding, coming to the connection with love. So we have to look at love in all of its facets, and not just this one thing that the world want to have you. I mean, how, like I said you earlier, coming up, it was tainted, but was still supposed to be good at the same time. And yes, nobody, people do get pregnant, certainly for whatever that journey is. Like she says, we don't know what anything is for. And that's in the Course of Miracles. I forget which one it is. I'll get to learn them later. It's in the Course of Miracles. So
That's all that matters.
that's all that matters. So, you know, oh my goodness. And not only that, this is how I know that this subject is supposed to be spoke about, because I'm up in the Motor City, for their 60th celebration this past weekend, or the weekend past. Time is flying, girl. So and I meet somebody who's doing some work in Philly. He's up there. He's originally from the land. And we're sitting up here because the Super Bowl is on. And he's like, and he's just coming out. And as I said, my quote is, love is our only solution. He said, we need more love. I said, I'll be darned. I said, that's what I say. We need some more love. And I got a shirt that says it from Cleveland Clinic, which has to do with Pride Month, but it don't matter.
I want to play, I don't want to say devil's advocate, but devil's advocate there on that. Um, do you think we need more love, or is it something else? Because if we already are the love, right? It's just remembering
We just need to
who we
be it.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just need to be more of who we are. That's why I said love is our only solution.
So
So
how
the
do
thing says
you
more love. Well,
so
more love.
how
We're
could you
just not
connect to
expressing
that?
more love.
Like, okay, so you're the alchemist, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the ego connection there that you can anticipate like challenges people in remembering that and connecting to the love that they innately are.
Well, I guess one of the hugest things is sitting still and connecting with yourself. And sitting still, but I come to find out, I don't know that that's not mine. I think I'm a walking essence, a walking, is it like walking prayer, walking
Walking meditation.
love, where, yeah. So
Yeah.
most of mine is when I'm moving around, I'm always in that. So like sitting here, it says sit and be still and know that I'm God, but being still, and I know my mind can go, but I also already know that because with the work that has been done, I've connected with that part of me. So we have to find the best essence. And most for people, like he said, you could be washing dishes and connect with the love you are. You can be doing this or walking, and like driving is where I connect so much with the sky and the things around me. And if there's birds, I will go to a bird, anything that's flying except for flies. I can't do them. So, and I can't do mosquitoes. So I'm just
Oh,
saying.
they're attacking me, so it's hard for me to love something that I feel is attacking me,
Attacking me, I know.
and then
Oh my
leaves
God.
me with like these welts.
These welts.
Oh my gosh.
So other than that is that, but it's a transformativeness of just allowing yourself to go within. I mean, so deep. The ego doesn't want it. The ego has been a protecting force of us. And the longer you've been embodied, the longer that you have been disconnected with the essence of yourself, the longer it takes to do the work you need to do. But doing anything to get closer within is going to be a transformative journey, because it's all about transformation in any little thing. See, we don't realize, I had this little thing, that little things matter. We get into the big thing. The little things will get us to the big things if we honor them first. And that
Mm.
where is how the message of the transformation. So I had to do that for myself, because it's like, how come I'm not where I thought I'd be? Like, I'm not driving the dream car because I haven't took the time, because I was so way and so far ahead of me that it was out of reach. So I need to be more present and more doing the little things that help to transform into those bigger things. And with love, it comes from within to help yourself understand and get out of the world. When you get out of the world, you can connect with the essence, and then you can start seeing the love, start attracting the love and the people, and that even in the midst of chaos that we have going on, because there's always going to be some type of chaos. Now, how it is now, it's just a sign. It's a sign to awaken you. It's
Yeah.
time to awaken to the truth. And it's
Yeah.
time to awaken to the truth of the essence of who you are, that love that is you, that essence that is you.
I
And
did.
yeah.
Go ahead.
And
Like you
see, and
say.
then some of the things that we tell ourselves in our minds, about our worthiness or lack thereof, and this and that is not love. It's just the opposite. And I know that because perfectionism is not love. And it comes deep from, it goes deep within, and it comes from from another part. A lot of it comes from childhood. A lot of it comes from even some works, depending on what you're doing. It's good to be the best of the best, but perfectionism truly does not exist. And you just don't know who you might touch. So it's not love. And I had to come and understand the perfectionism. And I just had Googled and done some things and looked at these things, and what perfectionism is a lot to do with lack of self-worth and some other means that are not love. So I'm like, oh no, that's not loving to me. So
Yeah.
yes, am I particular? Am I going to have a neatly, I got to go through these papers neatly? Yeah. I'm just saying this
What's
is
wrong
not
with
good for
that?
the group. Yeah. So being particular, wanting, a certain way, the certain essence of who I know that I am is so different. But to hold off and try to have everything be right, and the days are going by so fast that it is not loving. It is not loving at all. Um, there's another word too, but it's not loving.
No, it's
And so
not.
anything that's not love causes pain.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Ooh, this was such a good start to the conversation. So we're going to continue the conversation in the next episode, and we're going to go in and kind of talk about like the different levels of the layers of love. So
Yes.
any final words before we close out this episode?
Yeah, I think talking about self-love and what that actually is, and the things that are self-loving. Um, there's some key things about humanity. I mean, about love in relation to humanity. We can talk the positive force. I think we talked about the different expressions, the essential for love, societal, and beyond romantic feelings. So, in more depth of understanding that is, and I think, speaking about my car or things of that nature, or and then we didn't think about the love that animals bring to us, including fish. Don't have a fish tank yet.
We can talk,
So,
but we can talk about that. We can continue that conversation. I think we should talk
exactly.
about that.
Yeah.
But, I know we kind of talked about what love is and like what we kind of our perspective on the purpose of
Yeah.
love from just our own life experiences and as well as our spiritual warrior training. So I think I can speak for both of us. Those of you that are watching, we really do hope that this has inspired you, has given you permission to just like come back to yourself. I've been working with these meditations,
Yeah.
and I've started saying like welcome home at the end of the meditations,
Mm.
because it's like what you're speaking of, like the walking and like washing dishes, it's like coming back to yourself, coming back home. And home is always where you can find love. They say home
Yeah.
is where the heart is.
Yeah.
Heart is love.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
love.
Wherever you are. Yeah.
Yeah. So be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself. I think the patient and the kind part definitely something to really I would suggest, like, how are you unkind to yourself? Like working with that and recognizing like what is the challenge you have in receiving love would be what's coming forward in terms of getting more clear on what love means to you and the purpose of it. If
Yeah.
if you find yourself challenged in defining it, what's the block? You got to get clear on what the block is
Yeah.
my recommendation there. But we're going to continue the conversation. Thanks for watching.
Yes.
We're going to go a little bit deeper. Let us know how this resonated with you, and
Please
what do
do.
you think the purpose of love is here on earth? That's what I want to know. Leave it down below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for being in conversation with me, my fellow spiritual warrior, warrioress, Ardeshir Arrin from the
Oh
Love
yeah.
Tribe, repping. Woo woo.
Yeah,
I don't know where that came from.
that's good. Oh yeah, and if there's anything that you'd like us to chat about, please put it in the comments below. We'd be happy
Yes. And
to
be
do that.
sure to
Please
subscribe
interact.
and share. Share this video out to every other human being that you know of.
Yes,
So, but
yes.
we're going to continue this next
This is
episode. So stay
awesome.
tuned.
Yes.
Bye.
Peace.